Boxing has become a weird sport, man. A very weird sport. The boxers were more visible in the 80s, despite social media being about and stuff like that. But social media wouldn't matter to people like my mum. But then again, my sisters use social media. But I have a feeling that all three of my sisters won't know who Floyd Mayweather Jr. is. Maybe one of them might, but I've got a feeling that all three of them would. And there's a good chance not all three would know. One of my sisters really used to like boxing, but since it came off terrestrial TV and it was harder to access, and she doesn't really mess with Sky. She used to have Sky. She used to really like boxing. If I was to say Mike Tyson, she'd know. She'd know Thomas Hearn. She'd know Hagler. She'd know Ray Leonard, and a few more boxers. Aaron Pryor, Alexis Arguello. She'd know all of them guys. She'd know all of them guys because she used to watch all the fights with us back in the day. My mum would know people like Tyson, Nigel Benn, Chris Eubanks, Frank Bruno. But no, there's no way my mum would know who Floyd Mayweather Jr. is. She just wouldn't have a clue what I was talking about. Regardless if he's the highest paid athlete today. She wouldn't know Oscar. She wouldn't know Canelo. None of them people. None of them. None of them. Boxing has become way more niche from the 80s and 90s. And the fighters don't make front page in newspapers no more. Even on the back pages and stuff like that. Bernard Hopkins, wouldn't know them. Roy Jones, my sister may know Roy. May, I doubt it though. I don't think them guys, even as much as they got paid, they didn't cross over in that way. They didn't cross over in that way. And in a way, that signifies how good they are. When you don't cross over to the mainstream, but you're still managing to get paid a lot of money, that means there wasn't much gimmicks there to get your face ubiquitous with the audience. That's just through your fists that you're getting them purses from out of the game. That's just through your fistic endeavors. I don't know. Floyd and Pacquiao could be probably even in the UK. I'm not sure. I wouldn't say Floyd running away with it because the Asian community, when I used to go to the snooker halls to watch Pacquiao fight, they used to pack it out, and they weren't all Philippine, so. But then again, a lot of Floyd fans used to come as well, so, you know what I mean, in all truth. But, Pacquiao, he's popular in the US, UK, Philippines, and a lot of other Asian territories, so, globally, he's a very popular athlete, very popular. Floyd should, everyone seems to give Floyd advice, and I'm not giving him advice, but at this stage here, man, of his life, he should learn how to laugh at things. Okay, the Jamaican woman in Brixton didn't know who he was. Just laugh it off. Laugh it off. You don't have to take it so serious. I'm not saying he was angry, but, go to the Forbes magazine and you'll see this, you'll see that. The woman probably didn't know what the Forbes magazine was, to be honest with you. A lot of people don't know what it is. He could have just said, watch my next fight, you know what I mean? Get ready for May and this and that, and then, you get another fans. You're telling a few more people. Not that he needs the fans, you're paid already, but, if it hurts you that bad, just tell her, yo, come watch my next fight. Keep it moving. Floyd, on a worldwide basis, is not as big as Ray Leonard and Ali and them guys. Just isn't. He just ain't. Or Tyson. Them guys were known in the UK. They were known. Hagler. People would recognize Hagler. You put Hagler, oh yeah, I know that guy. Thomas Hearns. Not as famous as Ali, Leonard probably, and the Tysons, but people would recognize, I think Hearns was probably more visible to armchair fans or casual fans in the UK in his prime than Floyd is now. The Pacquiao fight hasn't helped Floyd, has it? You see, like I said, Thomas Hearns, them guys were quite visible because they had that rivalry with him, Ray, Hagler, Duran, and all them guys. All them guys were kind of famous, back then. They were famous. Well, at least I think they were. I think they were quite famous back then, because boxing wasn't a niche sport. It wasn't like this subculture it is now, Lloyd Honeyghan, after he beat Don Curry, I mean, it was all over the newspapers. Undisputed world champion, you know, and there wasn't many TV stations them days. People knew about that, and it was talked about a lot. Barry McGuigan. I mean, when I think about it now, Frampton has just won a world title. When Barry McGuigan won a world title, it was a bigger event when McGuigan won it than when Frampton did. It definitely was a way bigger event. You know, and that just shows the shift in the sport's popularity from the 80s to recent years. Joe Louis is just synonymous with boxing. Even guys like Sonny Liston, you know, who didn't have the longest reign as champion. Rocky Marciano, Jack Dempsey, you know, them guys, you know. It's just instant. George Foreman. These guys are just, you know, like George had the grills after, which brought him more money than what he earned in the ring, a lot more money. Nassim Hamed, in his prime, he was quite visible, and even in America, I hear a lot of people talk about the Prince, and I don't know how big he was. I'm not saying he was bigger than Floyd, but he didn't achieve as much as Floyd, so he was very popular back in the day. Lennox Lewis, I'd say Lennox is quite popular. I'm not saying he's loved. I'm not sure who would be more popular out of Lennox and Floyd in the UK. I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure, to be honest. I'm going to keep it real. I don't see it being a traffic stopping event. I think people would gravitate and see Floyd and say, oh, it's Floyd. But I'm not sure how much of us would recognize him out here. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I mean, he wouldn't do a Mike Tyson thing. I mean, Floyd was in the barbers in Brixton. And I don't know how, I couldn't see outside, to be honest. But I don't think there was the pandemonium or the numbers outside a barbershop waiting to see him like there was for Tyson. I don't think there was. And I don't think there'll never be. What are the reasons? Well, like I said, boxing has become way more niche these days. Way more niche. I think Floyd is not that charismatic. He's a great fighter. I don't think he's that charismatic. I don't think he doesn't have blood and guts fights either, which is a credit to him. You know, I mean, the Madonna fights were hard, but he doesn't look for a blood and guts fight. That's the thing. I'm not saying he's not been in none, but he doesn't look for them. He's a counterpuncher, yeah? Carl Froch. What about I'm thinking about Carl Froch. I mean, he was walking through the high road when I knew him back in the day before he won a world title. And he wasn't getting stopped by no one except me, who recognized him. If he was to walk through the high road today, what kind of reception would Carl Froch get? I think if he stopped at a designated place where he was supposed to be, he'd get a good, decent attendance. I think he would. It wouldn't be a Mike Tyson thing, though. It wouldn't be on that level. I mean, Muhammad Ali, even today, if Muhammad Ali, even in his ill condition, if they knew he was coming to anywhere, it would just be crowds everywhere. Just crowds, even today. I don't know. I don't live in the States. You guys tell me. Is Floyd... And I think if you've seen a few generations of boxing, you'll be better equipped to answer the question. Is Floyd as popular as a Ray Leonard, as a Ali, as a Tyson, a Joe Louis, a Foreman, and them guys, you know? I mean, guys like Pernell Whitaker and Chavez Sr., even at their peak or prime, I don't think they'd stop no traffic in the UK. I don't think they would. No. Now, in Mexico, they're rolling out the red carpet for Chavez, there's no doubt. And what it is, man, you know, when McGuigan won his title, I'm going to assume that it would probably at least, I don't know how much millions, he'd get nearly top viewing figures. On BBC One, I think it was on. Frampton was on Box Nation. You know, they got 350,000 subscribers, I think Frank said. And whoever streamed it, the hardcore fans who streamed it. You know, it's probably big in Ireland, but not in the whole of Britain. McGuigan was big in the whole of Britain. And he had fans in America because there's a big Irish population in America. Frampton don't have that, you know. I mean, I remember when Hearns and Hagler, you know, and Hearns and Leonard and Hagler and Leonard. I mean, these were big events over here on terrestrial TV. Massive events, massive boxing event. Don't get them no more. Don't get them no more. So TV has a lot to do with it. Television has had a lot to do with it. Roy Jones, I'm in the balance with that one. I don't think it wouldn't be like that. It wouldn't be like that. It wouldn't be pandemonium if Roy Jones came through. But thinking about, let me untrap my head from 2014. Roy was on terrestrial TV quite a bit, like delayed recordings and stuff like that. And I think his visibility wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. You know, like people knew about James Toney and McCallum. I'm not saying they were big stars to people, but people knew because they saw these fights without having to pay subscriptions and what's it not. So people knew, and the newspapers had a lot more print space for boxing. I mean, Eubanks, Watson, and Ben, in the 80s and 90s, man, huge. And they done big viewing figures, man, big figures. And Nassim caught quite a lot of that buzz. Frank Bruno always did well, no need to even talk about Frank. But Nassim caught quite a lot of that buzz, that TV buzz, from ITV and Sky. I remember paying for some of Prince's fights when he went to Sky. And Steve Collins and Calzaghe, they came on the wrong end of when the TV execs were shifting their program scheduling away from boxing. They was on the wrong end of that. Klitschko's. What about the Klitschko's? No one talks about them here. Most of the boxers fighting today or even recently retired, no one barely talks about them. I mean, okay, if people knew that Klitschko was a world champion and they saw the size of him, yeah, it would be a curiosity and they might gravitate to it. But no, he's just not big over here. There's no big articles or you don't see them on the TV or nothing like that. You don't see Floyd on terrestrial TV out here. You don't see him. You'd have to go to Sky Sports or Box Nation or a sports channel to hear anything about him. I mean, he had a little buzz when he was fighting Ricky Hatton and he came over here to promote it. But I'm not sure if that's lasted through. I'm not sure. I'm not saying nobody would turn out. No, there'd be people there. Probably quite a lot, actually. Probably quite a lot. They'd be curious to see the guy they call pound for pound best and he's a world champion and such. Yeah, there'd be numbers there. But they wouldn't be going crazy about it. Tyson, they were going crazy. Ali used to get mobbed when he used to come to the UK and stuff like that, man, When Hagler came over here, he wasn't known. He was challenging for the title. He wasn't famous like that. And after the reception he got when he won the title, he said he'd never come back. So that was that. If he had came back, he would have got a nice reception. I mean, Hagler was loved that. People knew Hagler. They knew Hagler. The casual boxing fan, but still a sports fan. They knew Hagler. They knew Marvin Hagler, and he had a lot of respect. It's weird. The highest paid boxer of all time. And I'm discussing whether the average UK citizen would just randomly know him. It's strange to have that topic there. It just shows how the dynamics of boxing has changed so much, man. So much. And even, in America, I mean, I'm assuming not everybody can afford cable. Some people just have regular TV. And boxing hasn't been on just regular TV for a long time. I think ABC just recently put cards back on there. So, guys like Bubo Andrade, he could run up the high road naked and, the police would arrest him, but nobody, that's Andrade. Nobody would know him. Nobody would know him. Nobody would know him. Golovkin could walk up the high road. Nobody would know him. Nobody. Few, maybe he'd be lucky if someone recognized him. Deontay Wilder, they'd look at him because he's just a big guy. But would they actually know him? I don't think so. I mean, Audley Harrison, they'd probably know Audley because he was on Strictly Come Dancing and he's just been on Big Brother. So they might know Audley. If they saw, oh, there's Audley Harrison, a few people would recognize him. You know what I mean? It's strange, isn't it? One of the at least most successful boxers would be more recognized than these really successful boxers that I've mentioned. Strange how it works. Audley would probably draw a bigger crowd than Kell Brook if he was at a shopping centre or something. He'd probably give Carl Froch a run for his money, even though Carl Froch sold out Wembley and stuff like that. Cotto, huge in Puerto Rico, and he's got a decent demographic in New York. But I'm not sure about the rest of America. And Britain, nobody talks about Miguel Cotto fights apart from me and the dudes who know boxing. Who are the really famous sports stars today? I mean, Beckham, guys like that. Eric Cantona in his day. A lot of the Man United players, most of the Man United team. Wayne Rooney. It's a roadblock wherever they go. It'd be a roadblock. They have to block the road off. I'm talking British athletes now, but Beckham apparently ain't even that big in America, really, because soccer ain't that big a sport. So Rooney would probably go nearly unnoticed. Usain Bolt, he can go anywhere. People, it's Usain Bolt. It's a roadblock. It's a roadblock. But I'd be interested just to hear from people from all different countries about the infamy of the boxers from their country and outside their country, how much visibility and popularity they have, and who they think could attract crowds if they was at a designated place. Who would attract a crowd and who wouldn't? Who could do what Tyson did when he went to Brixton? Just let me know. Peace out.